everyone, and welcome to my 2026 priority reading list. I am currently surrounded by piles of books right now, and all of them are books that I really want to read in 2026, so settle in because I'm going to be talking about all 40 of them. What I've done is sorted them into individual piles around a certain theme, so what I'm going to do is start with this pile here, which is books that have been on my TBR for a very long time. First one is Valiant Ladies by Melissa Gray, and this one just says that it's about sword lesbians, and I didn't need to know anything else further than that because sword lesbians, like what else do I need to know, quite frankly. I've owned this one since 2023 because I bought it at Yauch, and it is about time I read it. Next up is The Princess Bride by William Goldman, and I've been meaning to reread this one for about 3-4 years now because I read this for the first time when I was about 10, I think it was. I was very young at the time anyway. It's been at least 10-15 years since I read this book. I absolutely adore the movie. I watch the movie at least once a year or so because I adore it so much, and I've been desperate to reread the book for a while now and just haven't gotten to it. So what I'm doing is putting it on the priority list, so hopefully I actually get to it soon. I also have Juno Dawson's Wonderland in here. I got this as an unhaul if I remember rightly, and all I know about this is that it is a Alice in Wonderland retelling. I know I really enjoyed Juno Dawson's work with the Her Majesty's Royal Coven series, but I have not read anything else she's ever written, so I want to give this one a go. There is also The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness, which was very kindly gifted to me by Abby of Pelennor, so thank you very much, Abby, for gifting me this book. And this one is about a guy who is essentially not the chosen one. He's trying to live his life and this kind of thing, but so many things are going on around him by super people and things like this, which just sounds like a really fun time. I really enjoyed Patrick Ness's Chaos Walking series, and I've been meaning to try out his other work ever since, so that is what I'm doing with this book. I also have Stolen City by Eliza A. Bonin, and this one is about two siblings, if I remember rightly. Yeah, they are twins who end up basically stealing magical artifacts and things like this. It sounds incredible. Again, I got this at Yauch a few years ago and I just haven't read it yet. Also, Light Years from Home by Mike Chen. Again, this was gifted to me actually from Abby again, so thank you very much, Abby, for gifting me this one as well. And it says at the top here, every family has issues, most can't blame them on extraterrestrials, and that just got me. I love an alien story. I do not read anywhere near enough sci-fi, so I figured if I put at least one sci-fi on the list, I'm going to be reading at least one next year. I also have a middle grade, which is Mia and the Lightcasters by Janelle McCurdy, and this one, it says, beware of the shadows, the Reaper King is coming, and this one was actually given to me for Christmas a few years ago by my mum, and I haven't read it yet. I haven't really read that much middle grade either in 2025, so I do want to be doing more of that as well, and this feels like a really good one to read for that. There is also Nightbirds. This is by Kate J. Armstrong, and this one is supposed to be a fiercely feminist fantasy about the course of women wielding the most powerful magic ever known as they emerge from the shadows to take control and change their fate, and it just sounds really fun, really interesting. It's been on my shelves for a very long time now. It's been stuck at one of the bottom of my shelves that I don't see that often, so I keep on forgetting it exists. So I figured if I put it on the priority list, I'll actually get it read this year and remember that I need to read it. I then have 3 middle grades that have also been stuck at one of the bottoms of my shelves that I keep on forgetting exist. So the first one I have is Moonchild, Voyage of the Lost and Found by Aisha Bushby, and this one is inspired by the Arabian Nights tales. I've also got Evernight, and this one is by Ross Mackenzie, and this one, if I remember rightly, has got a little bit of a superhero feel with wild magic and this kind of thing, and it sounds really, really fun. And then finally, no, actually this one is the one about superheroes, and it is The Mask of Arabella by Anna Horton, and this is the one that's a little bit superhero-y. But these 3 I have owned for a good 4 or 5 years now. I have not read them yet, so I really want to put them on the list so I actually get them read at last. I've just realised that I've been really kind of rushing this, and I apologise for that, but quite frankly it's very hot in my room right now and there are a lot of books to get through, so apologies if I'm a little bit fast here. The next pile I have are all from Waypoint Books Full Moon subscription box that I have not read yet, and the first one is Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. I meant to read this in October, I meant to read this in November, I meant to read this in December. I did not get round to it, so what I'm doing is putting on the priority list so I actually read it next year. I also have City of All Seasons by Oliver K. Kay Langmead. This one is about a city split in two. One is in endless summer, the other one is in perpetual winter, and that is all I really know about this one. I just know that I really like the cover, and if Hannah thinks I'm going to enjoy it, I almost certainly will, so I do want to give this one a read as soon as possible as well. Hungerstone by Kat Dunn, and this one is a Carmilla retelling as well. Yeah, it is a sapphic reworking of Carmilla. I've never read Carmilla, but I'm very much in my vampire era right now, so definitely going to be giving this one a go when I'm feeling particularly vampiric. Some Desperate Glory, this is by Emily Tesh, and this one is a space opera about the wreckage of war, the family you find and the path you must forge when every choice is stripped from you. And I've never read an Emily Tesh book before, but I've heard amazing things about their work, so definitely going to be giving this one a go as well. A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher, another one I am desperate to read because I really enjoyed the two books I've read so far from T. Kingfisher, and this one, if I remember rightly, is about witches. I kind of want to say it's a retelling. I could be wrong on this, but I'm 90% sure it's a retelling. Either way, I've heard amazing things about this one and amazing things about T. Kingfisher in general, so really want to read this one. And then there's also No Gods, No Monsters. This is by Cadwell Turnbull, and this one is all about members of werewolf packs and other types of like mythological creatures coming into the light and revealing that they actually exist and things like this. I've heard amazing things about this one as well, and I am so excited to read it. Apologies if I've moved or anything, my camera battery died, so hopefully I'm in the same kind of position. But anyway, we're on to the last three books from Waypoint. The first one is Empty Heaven, and this is by Freddie Kolsch, and this one is about ghosts instead of witches, like Now Conjurers was. And when I read Now Conjurers last year, I think it was, I absolutely adored it and gave it 5 stars, and I've been meaning to read another Freddie Kolsch ever since. This is the one Hannah sent me, so very excited to see where this one's going to go. There is also Loki Journey into Mystery by Catherine Locke, and this is actually the book adaptation of the graphic novel by Kieran Gillen, and I love that run so much. It was all about a Loki who has basically been reborn as a child and everything he gets up to as a kid, and I really enjoyed that run. It was one of my favourite runs I read when I was reading a bunch of Loki stuff, so when I found out there was a novel version, I had to pick it up, and now I'm very excited to read this one. And then the final one Hannah sent me was God Killer by Hannah Kaner, and this one is about someone who essentially kills gods, which just immediately intrigued me. I've heard amazing things about this book over the last few years now, and it is about time I read it, so it's going on the priority list. Then we go into a pile which is just kind of books that I just haven't read yet, again because they've been sat on my TBR for too long and it's about time I got to them. So we have Feed by Myra Grant. This one is a zombie story which is based around a pandemic, which naturally I avoided for absolutely ages because I was like, no, I'm not reading anything about pandemic, can't do it, won't do it, definitely not. But I'm now kind of feeling okay with reading pandemic storylines, and this one feels like a really good one to go for. I know I trust Shauna Maguire's work. I've been meaning to try out her work as Myra Grant more recently, and this is the one I own, so it's going to be the one I'm reading. I also have The Lost Girls. This is by Sonia Hartle, and it is described on the back as getting over your vampire ex is as easy as killing him and stealing his girlfriend, which just sounds like so much fun. Again, I've been in such a vampire mood recently, and this sounds like a really fun time, so definitely want to read this one in 2026. There is also The Blood Trials. This is by N.E. Davenport, and this is another one that I've been meaning to read for years now. I think I've owned this for about 3 years. I've heard everyone and their mother rave about it, and I just haven't read it yet for no apparent reason, so that is what I'm going to be changing in 2026. This one, if I remember rightly, is a revenge story which is also inspired by ancient Rome, if I remember rightly, but it's also got a futuristic technological feel to it, and I've just heard so many people raving about it. It's about time I read it, so that is what I'm going to be doing this year. There is also The Serpent's Secret, and this is by Sayatani Dasgupta. I apologise right now if I have mispronounced that, and at the top it says meet Kira Mala, interdimensional demon slayer, only she doesn't know it yet. And again, I've owned this one for absolutely years now. It's been sat literally just above here for about 3-4 years and I still haven't read it yet. I haven't really had anything about this one, to be fair, but I love demon slaying type stuff. I love those types of stories. I love a good middle grade, so I really want to give this one a read as well. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, which I am ashamed to say I haven't read it yet. I admittedly had an excuse up until March this year because I didn't own it, and then I was gifted all 3 books for my birthday, and then I haven't read it yet. So that is what I really want to do in 2026. I want to at the very least start the Poppy War. If I do not finish the rest of the series, that is absolutely fine, as long as I start the series in 2026, because I am desperate to know what this one's about. I've heard amazing things about it. I know it's going to tear my heart out, but it is about time I read it. And then speaking of series, I've also got a small pile here of books in series that I really want to continue on with. The first one is the next one in the Lies of Locke Lamora series, which is Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch, and I really enjoyed the first one. It was like a fantasy with thieves and all of the rest of it. I loved the first one, and I've been meaning to continue on with the series for a while now, so that is what I want to be doing this year. This book is chunky, but I'm still hoping I'm going to get through it reasonably quickly because I did the first one, but I do really want to continue this series. There is also His Mortal Demise. This is by Vanessa Lee, and it is the second one in the Last Blood cover series, which I really enjoyed. I read that first one again 2 years ago, I think it was, put this on pre-order, got it in February of 2025, and then haven't picked it up. So what I want to do is finish out this series because I really enjoy it. I love the idea of heart soothers and all of this kind of thing. That first one left it on a cliffhanger, and I want to know what happens next, so definitely want to be reading this one as well in 2026. I also have Hooked by A.C. Wise. This one is the sequel to Wendy Darling, which was a dark Peter Pan retelling, and this one is involving Hook. I love Captain Hook. I love the first one in this series, and again, I just haven't read this one for no apparent reason, so I really want to get to this one as well this year. This Ends in Embers by Camilla Cole. I really enjoyed the first one, which is So Let Them Burn, and again, just haven't read this one for no apparent reason, so really want to get to it as well this year. The Ashfire King. This is by Chelsea Abdullah, and is the sequel to The Stardust Thief, which is a book I really enjoyed again in 2023. Pre-ordered this one, haven't read it yet, so again, desperate to get to it. And then the final sequel I have before I go into the last few ones I really want to read that are all hardbacks is Cage of Dreams by Rebecca Schaefer, and this one was about a world where essentially nightmares come into reality and things like this. The first one was called City of Nightmares, and I pre-ordered this one again. Didn't read it for no apparent reason, so I really want to be finishing out this duology as well this year. And then finally, I've just got a few hardbacks that I also really want to read this year, because I do not read my hardbacks anywhere near like as frequently as I do my paperbacks, so I do want to be prioritising them. And the first one is Adrian Tchaikovsky's Alien Clay. And this one, it just says, a hostile planet holds dangerous secrets. I've heard amazing things about this one. I've heard amazing things about Adrian Tchaikovsky's work in general. I've just never read it before, so I really want to be getting on with that. This is one of the books I own, so I do want to be reading this one in 2026 and giving his work a go. There is also Scott Lang's Look Out for the Little Guy, and this is actually the official memoir of Ant-Man. It's an MCU tie-in, and it's essentially what it says on the tin. It is the memoir of Ant-Man that he writes in Quantumania, and I've owned this since Quantumania came out. I have not read it yet because I was like, oh no, I'll wait until Scott comes back to the MCU and then I'll read it then. And now I've got this really bad dread feeling that he's going to die in Doomsday, so I figured if I read this before he dies in Doomsday potentially, I won't be sad when I read this, because I know if he does die in Doomsday, I'll never be able to read this one without being really sad. So I figured if I read it now, it should be fine. But also, it's an MCU tie-in I haven't read yet for no apparent reason, so I really want to be getting to this one. There is also Beasts and Beauty, and this one is by Saman Chiani, and this one is essentially a series of dark fairy tale retellings, which sound incredible because I love a retelling. I love it when it's a dark retelling. I do not read anywhere near enough dark retellings, and this sounds like a really fun October read, so I really want to be reading it around that Halloween season. There is also Sisters of Sword and Shadow by Laura Bates, and this one, it says, an interesting thing happens when a man is defeated in combat by a woman. He Tells Nobody, and again that really intrigued me. Again, I got this one at Yowk and I haven't read it yet, so I'd really like to tick it off the list. There is also Catabasis by R.F. Kuang, and this one is a dark academia where two students end up going down to hell to save their professor. I've heard some really good things about this one. I love R.F. Kuang's work, so I really want to be reading this one. I meant to read it in October and just ran out of time, so hopefully 2026, maybe October, is going to be the month. And then the final one I have, and I do genuinely mean the final one I have, is The Forest Grimm by Catherine Purdy, and this one is a dark take on fairy tales again, and it just sounds like so much fun, right up my alley. Like I said earlier, I love a dark fairy tale retelling, and this is another one I got at Yowk in 2023, so it's about time I finally read it. And that is my priority list for 2026. I am exhausted, I am very hot because my room is like a sauna, so I'm going to wrap this video up here. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me if you have any books that you are prioritising next year. I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a book stack emoji down below to let me know that you were here. Or if you just want to see any more of my videos where I'll be talking about reading these books and what I think about them, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!